blame it on me if Russia invades Lithuania next week. Does that mean it's my fault?
Why would he say that?
If you called Russia and told them to, like, invade Lithuania, yeah. Okay? And that's what Trump did. He called the Republicans in the Senate and the House. We have Mitch McConnell on record saying so. We have Langford, the person that drafted the bill that was Trump endorsed, that was one of the 11 senators that supported his attempted coup in 2020, go on Fox News and say that, yeah, Trump tried to torpedo this bill. Same story with Ted Cruz. Then inevitably, we had Trump at a rally in Nevada tell everybody to blame it on him. This is no secret,
Hannah, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Hannah. No.
What are you saying no to? Specifically, Sparky, quick question. What are you saying no to?
The way that you phrase the question and the way that you phrase your evidence I don't like the way that you frame it.
You reject? Why not? Why not?
Because I feel like you're being a little dishonest in the way that you
Would you like a Kleenex?
How about you clean it up? Make it honest.
Would thou like a Kleenex?
Trump can call in all he wants, and Trump can organize the Republicans to do it. But at the end of the day, Trump did not have a ballot to vote in and either accept or reject this bill. He did not have veto power like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He had absolutely no legislative power. The only thing he had was influence.
And that's an issue. Isn't that another issue, like on its own? The fact that one man has so much influence over the GOP that he can get Congress to vote and sway sway the outcome of legislation, even though he's not in office.
Isn't that true with all of the swamp?
Isn't that an issue?
Isn't that true with both parties and their swamp politicians, whether it be Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell?
No.
You telling me Nancy Pelosi doesn't have some of the high...
If Nancy Pelosi tried to coup the government, we would all fucking not vote for her. We would all say that we wouldn't support her if she tried to coup the government.
So I just want to clarify. So your argument is he didn't have legislative power, therefore he didn't influence the border bill to fail. That's false.
Right.
That just strictly doesn't follow. How? Because he did influence it to fail by calling the Congress members. What me and Parker would say here is that there would be partial responsibility placed on the individual Congress members for not voting to the bill and
majority.
And partial responsibility on Trump as well for doing these things. Like if I hold like a golden nugget over your head and told you that I'd give you the golden nugget if you killed your family, are we both going to be responsible in that circumstance?
Coop, I appreciate the 9-month subscription. Thank you so much.
Yes, to an extent, but at the end of the day,
so if Trump holds like an endorsement for the primaries over these people's heads and says, I will endorse you and support you if you kill this bill, who's responsible?
No, because it's not.
Okay, you're just acting so irrational.
I didn't like it.
You're just acting irrational. You're just acting irrational. Like this is an irrational individual.
Okay. So let me ask you my question then. What is your biggest issue in 2024, and why are you voting for Kamala Harris?
Because Donald Trump has been held civilly liable for sexually abusing women. She's influenced to get past the Inflation Reduction Act, the $35 cap on insulin, and the largest investment in renewable energy.
No. The insulin was a Trump thing for sure.
No, because it was that was an executive order, which it was not enforceable. It was enforceable through Congress specifically due to a tie-breaking vote because of Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote. She had the most tie-breaking votes of any vice president ever. She was the most influential vice president.
So what about her track record that really screams out to you, says, I want her to lead the nation?
I just told you, Inflation Reduction Act, $35 cap on insulin for seniors. I also can mention the bipartisan infrastructure bill that brought us high-speed broadband specifically to rural communities, which is what she put in the bill specifically, the CHIPS and Science Act, the PACT Act. Right, I can mention plenty of things that she was involved in terms of engaging with Congress to be able to pass legislation.
But she's been in office for 4 years. Why hasn't she done anything about inflation then? You just told me she had the most...
So again, inflation is dealt with. Inflation is dealt with specifically by the Federal Reserve. It's not dealt with by the President of the United States. By policy she advocated for, and actually was the tie-breaking vote in determining, was the Inflation Reduction Act, which was deficit reducing.
And I'm pretty sure she sent billions of dollars to Ukraine, and you can't just artificially create billions of dollars without
Actually, it was reallocated from the DoD fund. It wasn't quote-unquote created.
But it's still, you're still sending money out of the
because of the Budapest Memorandum.
Either way.
We're contractually obligated to do so. Another really good reason to vote for Harris is because of her economic policy. It is literally so much better than Trump's. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we talk about that real quick, Sparky?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I thought you were referencing me for some reason.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you could hop in here too. I feel like
I thought you were saying Parky for some reason.
It's fine. That's why I guess I should ask for your consent as well to kind of change the topic here. But
No,
anyways,
you're fine. I don't mind.
Cool, Mr. Sparky. A great reason to vote for Kamala Harris is because of her economic policy. She wants to cut taxes for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class. It's going to cost $2.4 trillion over the next 10 years, and she knows exactly how she's going to pay for it. $1.7 trillion coming from an increase in the corporate tax cut, and then the other, like, let's see here, $700 billion coming from granting Medicare a greater negotiating ability with private
Jay, thank you for the $1. Thank
companies.
you so much. Oh yeah, also the expansion of the ACA. You can mention that.
Yeah, and then an increase in an increase in the realized capital gains tax and an introduction of an unrealized capital gains tax for centimillionaires. So not only is our economic policy good for the low and middle class, good for the average American, but it is self-sustainable over the course of the next 10 years and will not increase the deficit a dime. But let's talk about Trump's economic policy so far. He wants to reinstitute the TCJA that disproportionately benefited the top 1%, the ultra wealthy, the corporations, and it's going to cost $3.5 trillion. And how in the hell is he going to pay for it?
How's it going to cost $3.5 trillion?
Through
Sharp,
deficit.
thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's debt-related
Sharp,
spending
thank you.
extrapolated through decrease in government revenue with
Thank
current
you.
spending trends.
Okay. See,
W sharp?
No, Trump he brought jobs back to the United States. He really revived the Rust Belt and brought a lot of those people back through
Give me
those
source.
tariffs. I can't name one off the top of my head. I'm not a political influencer. I'm not going to pretend like I am one.
I could give you a source that would indicate there's actually more C's abroad that American citizens were working in comparison to under Biden and Harris's administration. Right, but if your argument here is that he's going to pay for the $3.9 trillion by just influencing more jobs here at home in America to like increase consumer spending, to increase our GDP, well, we know that argument is false because his macroeconomic, the macroeconomic tax effects of his tax plan from 2017 until now have been about a 0.04% increase in our GDP every year, which would equal about $10 billion per year. If we were to expand that over the course of 10 years, that's about $100 billion, right? You factor in, right, the fact that like government revenue would only be proportionate to that, let's just say 50%. It will only like generate $50 billion. So you can't say that $50 billion will pay for a $3.9 trillion tax plan. Is that MAGA math?
You've lost
Yo,
this.
Natalia, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much for you're such a cute Parky. Thank you. Go ahead.
You guys, I'm glad you are exercising your ability to vote in this country. I hope this country becomes more unified. And I hope that you guys at least don't deal with the MAGA and treat them
Sin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Okay, are you bowing out, man?
less human. But you guys have a good rest of your day. I wish you guys the best. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, so thank you very much.
Okay, let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024.
I'm going to go back to being a viewer. I need to go eat some food. Thanks for letting me out, man.
All right, for sure. Yo, JG, are you voting for Trump?
See ya, Chad.
Why so?
Sorry. What'd you say?
Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Why so?
Previous policies were good, and economic reasons, and future policies were pretty good too.
So, like, what policies?
Previous or future?
Either or.
I mean, NDAA was pretty good. It funded, federal workers 12 weeks paid leave, paid maternal leave.
So, would you like to extend that for the rest of the country?
I mean, for everybody, yeah, but I think it was a good policy which was passed to make sure federal workers were guaranteed that.
Okay,
12 weeks.
so you want to make sure that people have paid maternity leave, paternity leave. Countries around the world that have that are more social democratic countries than we have here in the United States, which means that they're more liberal, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm correct. We're.
Are you about to drive?
No, I'm not about to drive at all.
I can hear your car.
I'm sitting in the car right now, not driving.
Okay.
I stepped away from my son.
All right.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, our country right now, we're a capitalist country with a lot of socialism in it.
Okay, so what do you mean by socialism?
We have socialist things that we have as far as like the VA and things like that, and I don't think that benefits
So
anybody.
Trump supporting the VA means he supports socialism?
No, I'm saying we have programs in the United States that have socialistic aspects to them.
So Trump supports socialistic policies?
That's not what I'm saying at all. I said our country has, we're mainly capitalist.
Also, I can
but
literally
we do
hear
have
you driving, you fucking liar. Why do people do that? Like, I can't hear you. All right, let's get this next individual up here. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Yo, it's a pal to you? Are you voting for Trump? Why so? Jesus Christ. Oh, by the way, they can't hear you. Can you mute and unmute real quick? People can't hear you. And then plus, you said he cares about the military. How do you feel about him? By the way, did you mute? Mute and unmute real quick. No one can hear you. Okay. All right, unmute.
All right, can you hear me?
All right, can y'all hear him now, everyone? And then also, so you said he cares more about the military. How do you feel about Trump saying that veterans are suckers and losers? Not only saying veterans are suckers and losers, but saying John McCain isn't a war hero because he was captured, even though he was a POW for this country for 5 years and was tortured for this country.
No, he never said that. John McCain was a war
He did
hero.
say that. I can play the video right now.
The more
He said he
thing
doesn't
I'm
like
talking
people
about
that are captured.
No, the more thing I'm talking about is that Democrats have been in charge of this country 12 years out of the 16 years.
Do you want to
Look
respond to
how
what I just
our
said? I don't want to hear
financial-
I don't want to hear the NPC response. I want to hear a response to what I just said.
Okay, well, I can tell you that you could play that all you want. That's all hearsay. That's all people just making. You can change audio with their technology now, and it's just
Really?
insane. Yes. With how things are, being in the military like I was under a lot of Democrats.
I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers. Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured. Okay, I hate to tell you. Do you agree with that? He's a war hero.
He's still a war hero. It doesn't matter. He can sit there and
No,
say
he was
what
not
you
saying
want.
he's a war
It doesn't
hero.
matter. You can sit there and say how you want. Oh, John McCain was a war hero. Okay, Tim Walz is not a war hero. He never deployed
Whoa,
overseas.
whoa. What's up with your mic? What the fuck? Hello? Oh, wait. Yo, there's someone added right now. Can you leave the live? Oh, what is that? Do you hear that, Punisher?
Yes.
Okay. Someone just left. Okay, we're good. All right, we're
All
good.
right. Now, I respect Tim Walz for serving our country, yes. But he never served live in country in Afghanistan or anything. For him to sit there and say that he served over there, fought in this war, was a very disrespect to
No, he didn't say that. He said he
Yes, he
accidentally
did.
said carried a weapon, right? And he didn't mean that.
And he also said he did serve in Afghanistan. It was proven that he did say that.
Okay, so I
Now-
mean, I'd like to hear this, but like he did go to like areas, right? And he didn't like fight in them, but he did go to them.
He did not go to Afghanistan.
I never said he went to Afghanistan. I said he went to areas. Like,
Yeah, he
like
went to areas. The only place he went to was Italy.
Well, so, and I think that he's gone to other places, but the
I've been to Afghanistan 3 times. I know what it's like over there.
Yeah, you can say what you want. Has Vance been in combat? Did Trump dodge the draft multiple times? These are all
Vance
pivots.
has been in combat. Vance
Vance has not been in combat.
He's been to Iraq. Yes, he has.
He was literally a reporter.
I've been.
Don't tell me he was he was fighting in conflict. That is ridiculous.
Hey, I'll be quick and then I'll leave. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt or anything, but Punisher is referring to a tweet that was done by Dinesh D'Souza about a clip that showed Tim Walz saying, "When I was in Afghanistan," and then it goes on to. But the problem is that D'Souza leaves out the entire previous section when Walls is talking about as a congressperson going to Afghanistan to inspect the troops and to meet them. That's what he was talking about. Walls never said that he served in Afghanistan. So, see, that's the problem here is that you guys take these clips and you don't even look at the overall context because these right-wing provocateurs are feeding you misinformation.
No, he also said that he carried a weapon in war.
Hold on, that's a separate issue. That's a separate issue. You came on here. Hold on. You came on here and you said that Walls lied because he never served in Afghanistan. And I said I know exactly where you got that from because I saw it all over X, and it came from somebody who left out the entire first half of the speech when Walls is talking about going to Afghanistan to meet the troops when he was a member of Congress.
No, I never even heard him say that, period. Any of his speeches, he's never said that. If he would step up and say, hey, I was in Congress and went over there, but he actually said that he...
That's what they said in what you're referencing. David Littlecrown, thank you. That's what he was saying. You just didn't listen to it.
Yeah, are you not listening to me? I know the video that you are talking about. It was put out by a right-wing provocateur, and it was misinformation because he leaves out the entire first half of the speech where Walls is talking about going to Afghanistan as a member of Congress in 2006 to meet the troops. That's what leads him to say, when I was in Afghanistan.
Okay, I understand that part, yes, but you also hear a lot of speeches of Trump's the same way, that they leave out a lot of things that he says.
Well, this is not like a he said or not a me but not them. I mean, this is context. You came on and you directly quoted misinformation. That's the problem. Is that you didn't even look into the fact that people were looking into this and found that it was total misinformation.
So how are you going to tell me you're going to vote for Tim Walz when I seen an actual video of him? Someone asked him, hey, about the 13 members of Afghanistan that were murdered at the time when we were pulling out. And he just sits there and says, have a good day, bye. How is that?
I know that one too. I have the answer to that. It's because he was at the a Minnesota State Fair. He was brought up to, and he was already busy. Someone brought it up, and he was already busy. Now, should he have said something more? Yes, he should have. Okay, I fully agree with you, right? But that was in no way him disrespecting those 13 war heroes, because I would argue that Donald Trump going to Arlington, Donald Trump making a political ad and a political video on the backs of those dead men and women, that is worse than what Tim Walz did. Because Donald Trump used
that's actually a respect.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You know what? No. Respect is going, but having no photos and no videos. You do not film the grief and the anguish of the families and make it a political ad that you then use to show that how Biden is weak and stuff. That is, and by the way, he broke the law, by the way, because you can't even film it within that area. So he broke the law. No one is talking about that. The fact that if Joe Biden had done the exact same thing that Donald Trump did, if Joe Biden or VP Harris had gone to Section 60 and made a video off of the grief of those parents, the right would be excoriating her. But yet, when Donald Trump does it, people are like, no, it's okay.
Yeah, this would be like the only thing y'all talk about.
Understand that. I can understand that. And I respect you for that part. But here's the thing. Why didn't Joe Biden or Harris or anybody acknowledge or say anything to be shown on news or anything? They didn't have to do a commercial or ad or anything. They could have been seen at Arlington on the news or anything, because it's always seen there. They could have went there and paid their respects for those individuals.
I have the answer to that too. I answer that too, because this is already the answer.
Last person in the room, while making those calls of pulling out in Afghanistan and leaving all those weapons, because that was a total disrespect to the veterans.
I have the answer for you, and the answer is one, Joe Biden was not invited to go to Arlington. The people who went to Arlington during that day are all supporters of Donald Trump, and that's fine. That's fine, right? I got no problem with these families supporting Donald Trump, but they did not invite Joe Biden. They did not invite VP Harris. Why? Because they blame them for the deaths. Why would you invite the person who you blame for the deaths? It makes no sense, right? They only invited Donald Trump. In fact, you can watch a direct interview with one of the family members on CNN on Saturday, and you'll see them directly say to them, we blame Joe Biden. Why the hell would we invite him to this overall event? Joe Biden showed respect because he did not want to intrude on them having their day of overall grief. And as I said, Donald Trump's the one who made the mistake by taking photos and videos from Section 60 and then putting it within an ad that is illegal and is totally tasteless.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, you can sit there and say that part, but they never showed the respect for those individuals ever since they pulled out of Afghanistan. They have never contacted those family members to show respect for those individuals at all.
Joe Biden met those families when it happened. Joe Biden hugged those families. He called those families. Joe Biden was there for that. And yes, I think Joe Biden should probably have done more because there's some reporting that Joe Biden was a little callous at times. I think Joe Biden should probably have done more to help those families.
He should have done a lot more. He should have done a hell of a lot more because I can tell you.
Hold on. But that is no comparison. But that is no comparison to Donald Trump, a man who is exploiting the grief and the fears of these families for his own political gain. I will critique Joe Biden any day of the week on this, but you cannot say that what Joe Biden is doing is in any way comparable to what Donald Trump is doing, because Donald Trump is using the grief and the tragedy for his own political gain.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He literally is. He literally, by definition, is.
So you're going to tell me, okay, yeah, I'm not really changing the subject, all the veterans and this and that, but you're going to tell me the whole administration letting all the immigrants in and everything that they do illegally in this country, and of all the Americans.
Wait, what policy did they influence to get passed that did
Riley,
that?
like Lincoln Riley, that was murdered by an illegal immigrant.
Wait. Do you think Molly Tibbetts? Do you think Molly Tibbetts dying is because of Donald Trump? I mean, Joe Biden, because she got killed by an undocumented immigrant.
I'm blaming this on that whole administration, not just one person.
No. Answer the question. Does the death of Molly Tibbetts reflect on Joe Biden's administration?
Yes.
Okay, well, it actually happened
but
under
that happened
Trump's administration.
Yeah.
That
happened under Trump.
The illegal immigrations that's in
That happened under Trump. Did you hear me?
A lot of them are gang
Did you
members.
hear me, sir? That happened under Trump.
No, it did not.
Yes, it
Yes,
did. Molly Tibbetts died under Trump.
Yeah,
Okay,
Molly Tibbetts was killed by an illegal immigrant in
But when
2018.
when multiple people have been killed, a lot more under this administration compared to Trump's.
That doesn't change the fact. Yeah, that doesn't change the
You
fact.
just said that.
And by the way,
You just said that Biden was responsible for it, but Trump isn't. Now that's such a fucking joke.
And by the way, that's a hell of a pivot from what happened at Abbey Gate to all of a sudden talk about immigrants. Because we were talking about Donald Trump using the tragedy of Abbey Gate and for his own political purposes, and now you're bringing it back to like all these immigrants. How did you make that jump?
I'm being more of a question of being over there. I could tell that you have never served in this country in your life.
How can you tell? How can you tell?
Have you ever been in the military?
No. How can you tell? Answer the question. How can you
Just
tell?
by the way, just by how you are so defensive of this and that. I have been in the military. I've seen how everything is.
Defensive? I'm not defensive. I'm answering your questions directly. I'm giving you responses. I'm not defensive at all.
If you're gonna be truthful, be truthful. Tell me. Have you served this country?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Have you?
have not seen the thing. Yes, I did 23
Thank you for the glasses.
I did 23 years in this military.
Okay, and you shouldn't dispute
deployments.
someone's service, right?
No, 3 years.
You shouldn't dispute someone's service, right?
I don't dispute anyone's service.
Okay, so like with
It's
walls, right?
open
You shouldn't do that.
No, it's a person's choice. If they decide they want to go in, they can. If they don't have to.
Okay,
They
so
make
then
their own-
then what's your point here?
My point is this. everybody has their own decisions of who they want to vote for. I'm voting for Trump. I'm going to vote for him because the way the economy is going now, this country is going to end up looking like Afghanistan and Iraq.
That's so untrue. That's so untrue.
What are you saying, bro? Like, this guy's just making shit up at this point, dude.
I'm not making anything up.
You are.
guys
Lovey, thank you for the $1. Thank you so much. My dad's a Vietnam vet, and he's saying this guy's a load of BS. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, me being me not serving in the military does not mean I cannot have opinions on this. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about politics. I'm not talking about like whether or not we should, do this military strategy or something. I'm talking about politics, which I do have qualifications for.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Well, no, it's not my opinion.
No, it's a fact.
I have actual like pieces of paper that cost me tens of thousands of dollars to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Well,
I spent 15 years of my life in this.
If you spend your life in that, okay, I spent my life in the military.
Exactly, and I'm talking about politics because that's what I spent my life in.
I've seen how countries how they run under this type of communism.
Communism?
Oh my God.
Can you define communism for me, please?
How the government...
Hey, could you define communism for me, please?
Look at Russia.
No, just define
That's not true.
communism. Russia's not currently communist.
Look at how the higher-ups take the money and make themselves more richer, okay? How are you going to sit there and tell me
That's not
that
communism. In fact, that's like unfettered capitalism. Like, what the fuck?
that's what we're going to end up going to? We're going to end up losing money. Where, yeah, you guys are making a lot of money, this and that, but the people that are barely making ends meet, can't pay rent, or losing their jobs.
Yeah, and we're advocating for those people. Donald Trump is advocating to shift the burden of taxes from rich people onto poor people by increasing tariffs and decreasing income tax for corporations and for businesses. And for,
please
for
tell
large
me
businesses.
which party. Yeah, please tell me which party historically and now is actually advocating for poor people and those that actually need help. Please tell me which party is doing that, because it sure as hell is not the a right-wing party here in the United States.
Democrats are only doing it now because Trump is doing it.
But they've been doing it for like 100 years. What the fuck are you talking about? Some of the greatest progress that we have made in this country to get rid of poverty and homelessness and all these other issues came from Democrats, not from Republicans.
Explain California.
I don't know. Parker, you wanna talk
I
about
live in California. What about California? Let's talk about.
California has 180,000 people that are homeless, and that's a Democratic state.
Okay, so can you name me one good Republican? Can you name me one good Republican? Name me one good big Republican city in this country.
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. Isn't Orlando blue?
Nope.
You want me to pull it up right now?
I'm pretty sure Orlando and Tampa and all
Who's
that.
the mayor? Who's the mayor?
Top of my head, I couldn't tell you offhand.
Probably a Democrat.
If you look at California,
Yeah, Orlando's blue.
Yeah, I figured.
Dude,
California has 180,000 people.
Orlando's definitely blue, bro. What are you talking about?
Parker, look up the homeless rate in Texas. I wonder what that is.
Let's look this up. We'll look up homeless rate by state. Because we have to know based upon population. Right. Let me look at this Statista. Okay. Alright, let me look. So, even if we do look by rate, we do see higher rates of homelessness in California comparative to Texas. We still do see that. But the point I would make for this is that people go to places like California and these particular areas because they get more help in these areas. So, why is it the case that Republicans specifically
so they get more help.
continually listen? Why is it the case that Republicans continuously, right, will get funding from these bigger places like New York and like California, right? And then at the same time, people will go to California because it's warmer and because they get more social amenities. Because they can't get these social amenities in the Republican areas. So if they could get it in the Republican areas, would they stay there? And then also,
homelessness will be correlated with population. So the more population you have, the more homelessness you have. And also the states that have more population are overwhelmingly Democratic. So it's just by the nature of it that's going to happen.
Yes, you're right.
But I agree with you, Punisher.
But if you look in California, when they raised the minimum wage, remember when they raised the minimum wage, they were all happy. Look at how many people lost their jobs because the companies could not handle to pay these people. Look at
I don't know. I haven't heard of mass layoffs in the state of California. I haven't heard of like millions of people losing their jobs because of the minimum wage increase.
When they raised the minimum wage, a lot of people lost their jobs because they didn't want to pay the delivery drivers anymore. They didn't want to pay certain people.
I'm gonna need a citation on that. Sorry, but because I don't know where you're getting that from. I know that certain businesses did raise their prices. For example, In-N-Out did raise the price of their like hamburger and stuff. Okay, fine, you're paying more for a hamburger. I really don't. I mean, that's not going to
smaller in proportion to
I know
what someone is going to get from an increase in their
exactly. And people aren't going to be like, oh no, In-N-Out went up by 50 cents. I guess I'm not going to have that hamburger now. That's not how it works.
But eventually, it will cause a huge financial burden.
Not necessarily. I don't know. You say eventually, but that could be, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 50, 60, what? I mean, I need, evidence for that. I need give me a data projection. I don't know if that's true or not. But by the way, I would say, though...
Numbers guy? You're a numbers guy? I understand. I respect you on that. You're very good at your numbers and all that stuff like that.
Well, Punisher, I will meet you in the middle on this, though. I agree that homelessness is a problem and that both parties should be doing more to do it. I would only push back on you.
Let's take a look at the level of homeless people in the country. So it went from the high during the beginning of Obama's administration, it was up here. It decreased. Trump got in office and it started increasing until COVID.
Well, we couldn't help COVID.
Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. So then why don't you specifically look at the fact that, again, there was a decreasing share of people who were homeless under the Obama administration?
That could be just stuff. You don't know what happened during time. I've seen a lot of more homeless people throughout the years than anything. People could just make up numbers and say, hey, yeah, we did this, we did that. You don't know.
Okay, so we're just making up numbers now.
And by the way, I'm so sorry. I've been getting Venmos, and I have my phone on silent, so I'm so sorry. I just got to thank people. Danielle, thank you for the $5. Oh, he left. Danielle, thank you for the $5. Who else? Elizabeth, thank you for the 25. Barbara, thank you for the $2. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry that I didn't see those. I apologize. And Parker, I will now leave because I've said my piece. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
They're probably driving. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Again, everyone, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. All right, let's get this next individual up here real quick. All right. Okay, didn't accept this person. Let me try the next. If you want to support me, it's always Venmo, Cash App in the bio, everyone. That's the best place to support me, y'all. That's not really Parker, it's AI. Yeah, totally. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Yes, I'm 40.
Are you voting Trump?
I am.
Why so?
Just because of the representation that he went when he went to talk to NATO about countries having a delinquent owed to the taxpayers, because the taxpayers is paying for Germany's security, but they're actually making deals with Russia, selling oil to Russia or buying oil from Russia. So
we're actually not getting any oil from Russia right now.
I did not say that. I said that Germany was actually doing business with Russia with the Nord Stream pipeline. Am I correct?
Sure. I'm asking you why you're voting for Trump.
Well, the reason I'm voting for Trump because the representation that he's given us in the interest of the taxpayers' money being spent the correct way.
Like how so?
Excuse me?
Like how so?
Well, a lot of NATO countries are doing business with Russia, but we have NATO for Russia, so it doesn't. It has a conflict of interest. I mean, I'm giving you money to protect yourself from Russia, right? But you're doing businesses with Russia.
Ukraine is not in NATO.
I didn't say Ukraine. I said Germany, sir. I said Germany.
I understand, but like, okay, so you say that we shouldn't engage with Germany because Germany has some engagement.
No. I'm saying is, if you're doing business with Russia, then you don't have a relationship with Russia with that's your enemy. You don't do business with your enemy, right? So if Germany is a part of NATO, why is the taxpayers paying for Germany's security in NATO? Why is it on the taxpayers' dime? And that's what Donald Trump told them. There's a lot of countries that have
Donald
delinquent.
Trump, you're saying that Donald Trump doesn't want to fund NATO at all. So Donald Trump also said
what
that
I'm saying is, sir,
Christ.
I'm not saying that. You putting words in my mouth. I'm saying that Trump is telling Germany, if you're going to do business with Russia, then stop asking the taxpayers for money. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but like, he did not say this. Can you give me a quote?
He did say it.
When did he say this to Germany? Because when did he say this to Germany?
When he met with the NATO alliances.
That was not since Russia invaded.
No, that was before Russia invaded. That was before. He said, look, Germany is doing business with Russia, buying crude oil from Russia.
So they shouldn't have been buying oil from Russia, even though we were.
Huh? We were selling
at that time. I have a question. So why were we buying oil under Trump's administration from Russia, even though we had a proxy war against Russia in Syria?
Parker, I'm asking you a question, right?
If you don't answer my question, I'll just go to the next person. I'm not going to deal this game where you don't answer any of my questions, and I have to keep restating them. I can't hear you currently because you just paused. Okay, so under Trump's administration, they were buying oil from Russia, and we had a proxy war against them in Syria. Okay? John, I can't hear you right now. Can you unpause? Come back into the app. You have to see me in order for me to be able to hear you. Night Ketrick, thank you so much. I appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that on Cash App. Thank you so much. All right, I'm about to kick this person because they're not here. They left themselves. All right, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. All right, let's get this next individual up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Are you voting Trump?
Of course.
What's up?
Because I'm eating a pork tenderloin.
Okay, why are you voting for Trump?
Because I'm eating a pork tenderloin.
Okay, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, let's get this next individual up here. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates. Keep tapping that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. Share the live as well. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Dude, TikTok needs to fix their fucking guest system. This is so frustrating. Having to add up 1 million people just to talk to someone. Okay, didn't add this person either. Let me try the next. I'm trying everyone. Do give it a second for people to join up. Yo, Kimberly, thank you for the hand art. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Okay, it's not accepting this person either. Give it a second, everyone. They need to fix it so that you need to click a button to stay in the guest box or something. Thank you for that mustache. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Jesus Christ, it's every person, bro. It's every person I try to add up to my live. It's actually getting annoying that like every time it takes so long. Like, please. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Are you fucking trolling, dude? Are you actually trolling? It's like every person.